Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to WCBN Broadcasting. My name is Carter Rupert, and here we are with Jonah Barnhill as our color commentator. Jonah, how are we feeling tonight against this matchup, Michigan versus Washington?
It's looking up to be a close matchup here. Michigan 14-3 overall, 4-2 in conference play, while the Washington Huskies are 13-3 overall and 3-3 in conference play. So, looks to be pretty even teams on the stat line. Let's hope for a good game tonight.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Jonah. This is going to be a first-timer for Michigan and Washington. Since the merger, Washington is now a Big Ten team. This is the first time that Washington versus Michigan will be a Big Ten matchup. I am personally very excited. Their records are super similar, and their stat lines match up really well. Ladies and gentlemen, Washington, Michigan, women's volleyball.
Now, Washington, they are 13-3, but they did start the season 13-0. They lost their last three straight. They played ranked Oregon, UCLA, and ranked Wisconsin. They lost all three, hoping to rebound here in Ann Arbor. While the Wolverines, they're coming off a big win against rivals Ohio State in Columbus. After losing to Illinois, they rebounded with the win against Ohio State, and now they're looking to pick up another Big Ten win here in Ann Arbor.
That's what I'm saying. This is, again, looking very interesting. It looks like both have lost pretty continuously to some conference play. And the audience, ladies and gentlemen, is absolutely moving right now. Forget the crowd size. There is some energy here tonight.
Now, before the game starts, we're going to go over the keys to victory for both teams here. One, you got to start strong. Volleyball games are all about momentum, making sure you start strong, getting rid of those errors, and maybe getting your rhythm in the first set, build that momentum so you can carry it in to the later set. Secondly, and arguably most importantly, control the controllables. We talk about this in every sport, controlling what you can. If you can control your own team, that'll be a good way to victory. And by controlling the controllables, we mean things that you're in control of. We're talking about serving. You cannot serve into the net. You entirely control that as a team. You cannot make errors, especially service errors. That's just giving the other team free points. Secondly, making sure you get those passes right so you get your setter set up and just making the smart plays.
That's right, Jonah. I'm really interested in this matchup because, again, with how close this is, this might be a game based on momentum. If one team can get rolling, they're so similarly matched that any edge they can get will mean everything to either team. So we're going to see who is able to string the most points together, and if that in the end will decide the fate of which team is coming home with 4 losses. Again, this is conference play, so this means way more than your typical everyday game, even though it might be an unranked match. The players are currently shaking hands. The stadium is loud, ladies and gentlemen. I am very excited for this matchup.
Players to look forward here for Michigan. Number 2, Allison Jacobs, the graduate student from California. She has been the team's leader in kills with 272 on the season so far, but don't count out her defensive assets as well. She has a reception percentage of 96% with 425 receptions. Something else to look out for, the setter Morgan Burke. She's the captain of the floor, sophomore. She averages 10.08 assists per set, which is 6th in the Big Ten and 41st nationally. Something else to look out for, Valentina Valette, the powerful outside hitter sophomore. She totals 175 kills on the season so far, and with her powerful kills also come the powerful serves. She has 41 aces on the season so far. Speaking of serves, head coach Erin Virtue, she likes to play Mira Chopra and Trixie McMillan as those serving subs. Mira Chopra contributed 16 aces in 43 sets this season so far, with McMillan totaling 9 aces so far on the season.
Very well said. To introduce tonight's teams, we have on Michigan, Niambio Jacobs, Gordon Johnson, White, Burke, Chopra, Demetrician, Greskovics, Simmons, Haynes, Valette, Ray, Edwards, Boney, Cochran, and McMillan. Oh, the game is currently live, ladies and gentlemen. Washington going up for a spike. Oh, barely missed. by Michigan. That means Washington is up 1-0 already. Very close move, just a couple inches away from the hand. That would have been stayed in the air. They're rotating now. Michigan
and that was hit to Allison Jacobs, the outside hitter. They were without their libero Cochran on that first play, but she checks in now.
Washington up for the serve. Hit by number 2. Set up. It's already over the net. Confusion, pandemonium. Washington hit it out. That is a Michigan point, ladies and gentlemen. Their first of the night, 1-1.
Something to look out there. Allison Jacobs, she had the first touch. It wasn't a perfect dig, but it got the job done. She may need to clean that up there, but we'll see where they go from here.
Michigan ready to serve. Setting up. And it's over the net. Oh, caught by the libero. Hit from the outside. They're on their third hit. Will it go over the net? Very good. Very easy hit for Michigan to set up. Oh, almost blocked by Washington. Washington having to dive for it. Washington hit back over. Number 17. 7 setting up. 2. Caught by the libido. Another setup. Washington's looking for a hit. Caught once again, and the ball's gone 2 outside. This is looking like a Washington point, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Cochran shanked that serve there, but there were a lot of mistakes by Michigan on that. Burke set the bick, and Allison Jacobs, which we see a lot, but Jacobs, she just couldn't get the power on it, just floated it over. I may need to clean that up there.
Both teams did a very good job setting up at first, but again, these small mistakes, of course, they do need to be warmed up. Number 0 looking for the hit for Washington. 2 with the receive, 7 setting up for 17. Slammed, but Washington with to turn it back over.
And that was Michigan's point. That was Jackie Boney on the kill. Burke set the slide. Boney got it down.
The game's very even tonight, folks. It's been 1 for 1. No one has gotten 2 in a row. 9 setting up to serve. Washington picks it up. Easy set for Washington. Slam it. It's going outside the field, back in play. A very soft hit over just to keep it in play. Ooh! Michigan misses the block, and it hits right outside, just out of the hands of the libero. This is Cochran, ladies and gentlemen. Cochran, one of the star players on the team. We'll be hearing a lot from her tonight. Washington with the setup. Up 3-2. Silence on the court. Served. Caught. Easy setup for Michigan. Slams it over. Oh, barely out of the libido's hands.
And that was the first kill tonight for Allison Jacobs. A powerful kill. They got around the block. And then that just shows why Michigan looks at her so often. She can get that down and get that point for Michigan.
Very well done, Michigan, right between a seam, right in an empty corridor where Washington was lacking players. Libero looking up for a serve. Washington, a very easy reception to take. A light tap. A slam by Washington. Very easy reception for Michigan. Setting up for Michigan. Oh, the lightest tap over just to get over Washington defenders. Washington set up. Washington going for a slam. Oh, and just off the defending player's hands. That's into Michigan court, and that's a point for Washington.
Yeah, the kill just tipped off from Morgan Burke's hands. There was no one to cover the block, and it landed in the court for a Washington point.
Washington again looking for the serve. This is a possible momentum changer. We talked about this in the beginning. 19 for the serve. Hits the net. That's a point to Michigan. Michigan gets a freebie on that one. Maybe the momentum could be changing back in the direction, ladies and gentlemen.
And that's what we're talking about, controlling the controllables. That's our first service error of the game. We'll see if that continues.
7 for Michigan with the serve. Received by Washington. Very simple setup. Ooh, right in the lane.
Maybe a little too much power on that one. Goes outside the court for another Michigan point. It's now 5-4 for the Wolverines.
7, get ready to serve for Michigan. Caught by number 9. Ooh, a bad setup by Washington. Puts it just over the net where Michigan has the ability to hit it right down into their territory.
You got to be careful there with those overs. You got to have that first touch, get to your setter. Make sure it's not too far over the net.
Ooh, another service error, this time on Michigan's side, just outside the court.
Yeah, that was Morgan Burke. She just couldn't find the court on that one. So, 1 service error each for both teams. We'll see how it goes from here.
We talked about how close this game was going to be, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like that is the turnout so far. Washington with the serve. Set up by number 7. 13 with the hit right over defenders. A diving attempt by Washington, just couldn't make it. And
yeah, that was Valentina Valette on the kill there, and mostly she is always about that powerful kills, but there she sort of just tipped it over, and that shows her experience with the sport. It doesn't always have to be about power, it's just finding the open spots on the court.
Number 28, Michigan. Going for the serve. Easy reception by Washington. Set up by Washington. Hit by Washington. Oh, just off the hands of number 7 for Michigan. That's off of Burke. Going into the back of the court. Point for Washington.
Yeah, that was Trixie McMillan on the serve, so we're already seeing Coach Virtue put in those serving subs, and McMillan, after the serve, checks back out. And looks like Jenna Haynes is checking in.
Number 9, Barton for Washington, ready for the serve. Reception by number 2, Michigan. Set up by number 7. 13 hits it. Oh, who is that going to?
Off the block. That's
Wow.
Valentina Valette. And that is her second kill of the game, I believe. Yes, it is.
8-6, Michigan's point.
And now another one of those serving subs, Mira Chopra, coming in. She has 16 aces on the season so far, hoping to add to that total here.
Michigan ready for the serve. Simple reception. Oh, too hard of a reception. Goes back over to Michigan side. The easiest setup for Michigan. A slap by Michigan, and it's blocked by number 12. Wessels on Washington. A very amazing block. Nothing Michigan could do about that.
Yeah, so we saw another over by Washington there, but they did make up for with that powerful double block. Just nowhere for Valette to go.
The score is 8-7, Michigan's favor. The libero, Benefield, ready to serve it. Easy setup for Michigan. 7 up to 17. The lights tap over. Libero having to dive to save it. Number 8. Number 4 off to Michigan side. Saved. 7 is the setup. 9 with the hit. Caught by the libero again. Oh my goodness, ladies and gentlemen. Back over to Michigan side. Caught again by Michigan. Michigan going for the slam. Wow! After possibly 6 back and forths, Michigan is able to come on top. 9-7 Michigan.
Jackie Boney had 2 shots on an over, 2 in a row, and she couldn't get it down, but they went out to their star player, Valentina Valette, who managed to get the ball down for a Michigan point.
Michigan looking for a serve, looking to gain some momentum. Caught by the libero, set up for Washington, slam, and that is just out of bounds for Washington. Washington cannot seem to catch a break. 10-7 Michigan.
Something interesting we're seeing here, Serena Nyambio is not playing for Michigan. I think she might be injured, but it'll be interesting how Michigan sort of fill her absence here with the court.
13 with the serve. Ooh, off the libero.
And there is why we see Valentina Valette with 42 aces on the season now. Her powerful serves are just too much for the Huskies to handle there. They could not get a good first touch, and that is a Michigan ace.
Serve for 13 of Michigan. Valette up and over. Caught by the libero. Libero's been catching it all today. And that is a point to Washington. Finally, they break possibly a 3-4 point streak. Looks like Michigan is running a little bit hot right now, but what can Washington do to interrupt this? Washington with the serve. Easy setup for Michigan. Over 7. Oh, and out of bounds. Good attempt. The momentum could be switching here, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, Morgan Burke there, she tried to tip it over, but it was not entirely her fault. The first touch was not the best, and she couldn't really get a set down, so she decided to tip it over a little too hard.
Easy reception for Michigan. 7 setting up. 9 with the slam. And the blockers could do nothing about it. A little too hard. Hit right off the hands to the side of the court. That is a point to Michigan.
Yeah, that was Ella Demetrician there. She hit it off the block for Michigan point, and it seems like she is going to be playing in the role of Nyambio here. She only has 15 matches played on the season so far, but she's coming strong so far.
Nutrition serve. Ooh, just out of bounds. The libero for Washington thinking about going after it, but decides to let it go last second for it to go out in the back corner. And here, Washington is mounting maybe a small comeback. Washington with the hit. Saved, set up by 7. 17 hits, and Libero could not get there in time. What a perfect placed hit for Michigan.
And there's that slide to the back that we see so often from Morgan Burke. This time, instead of Nyambio, it was Jackie Boney with the kill, and that adds to her total of 118 for the season.
Michigan with the serve. Easy setup for Washington. Washington number 9. The blockers for Michigan handle it very well. However, it was hit out of bounds, giving Washington the point, 13-11, Michigan.
That was Morgan Burke and Jenna Haynes on the block there, but they could not get it down for a Husky point.
Washington with the serve. Michigan's ready for it, too, with the setup. 7 with the set. 17, oh, just barely over. Taken over by Washington. Washington just going to hit it over 2. Still on Washington's side. Washington struggling to keep it over. Ooh, and it looks like a double tap by number 12 for Michigan. Not her fault, just landed right in her hands. But that is a Washington point. 13-12. Washington is closing the distance. Haley and Washington with the serve. Caught by number 9. 7. Wow, a badly placed setup. Rockets here, ladies and gentlemen. And that goes to Washington. Forget the lead that Michigan had. It is now 13-13, set 1.
That was Barton from Washington there, the sophomore outside hitter. She just got around the block, got a little lucky with the net, but she did find the open court. And now it is all tied up as Michigan takes their first timeout.
Again, we talked about how even this game was going to be, and they've gone mistake for mistake and well-placed hit for well-placed hit. Washington doing a great job at holding off Michigan's streak and doing a very good job of adjusting, covering the holes that were previously open that gave Michigan such a chance to be able to get some points.
Yeah, something we talked about before the game started, we were talking about momentum and rhythm, which is something that both teams have sort of struggled with so far in this game. They really haven't found a consistent rhythm. Every point so far, or most points, have been sort of gritty points that they weren't really clean in a certain aspect, so maybe both teams are going to try and find that rhythm and that momentum.
About 27 seconds left on the clock, ladies and gentlemen. Still 13-13. The crowd is still as lit as we've ever seen them. Both teams really having to have some adjusting. Michigan, especially number 7, Burke has done a great job with setting up for a possible strike. And the rest of the team has been very good at receiving Washington's hard hits. Washington has done very well to control Michigan's as well. Again, very even. There's a lot to say. One compliment for one team is a compliment for the next as well.
If you're Michigan here, you got to take advantage of that timeout that killed Washington's momentum. You need to side out here and get a point.
Washington getting ready for the set. Washington with the serve. Good reception, number 9. 7 with the setup. 2. Ooh, just off the hands of number 6. That's Wilson on Washington. A wonderful effort, however, not enough to keep that ball in the air.
That is exactly how Michigan wanted to come out after that timeout. Burke slid out to Jacobs for an easy kill, and that's why they look to her so often, because she is a reliable hitter on this team.
Burke with the serve. Washington with an easy setup. Good reception by number 7 for Michigan. Up to 2. Barely saved, a diving catch. Washington with the hit. Set up for 2. Another setup. This is incredible, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, Washington just keeps blocking, but Michigan keeps receiving. A very soft hit over to the back of Washington. Just keep it alive. Washington looking for a slam. Oh, Michigan blocks it. Washington going again. Oh, and Michigan could not quite cover that back corner. Demetrish had barely missing it. A diving attempt. A very good back and forth. Both teams, their blocking has been incredible.
That was a great effort play by Washington there. Allison Jacobs had 3 shots to get a kill down, but the Huskies blocking it every time and then eventually getting the point.
Washington with the serve. Out of bounds, Michigan point. A very nice short set after the last one with a lot a back and forth. Michigan leads 15-14.
And here comes Trixie McMillan into serve again, the serving specialist. Let's see if she can get something done here for the Wolverines.
Michigan with the serve. Received well, set up for Washington, number 4. A whistle called.
Possibly a net violation there.
Wow, Michigan slides away with another point. 2 easy points for Michigan. We're starting to see some possible issues showing up on Washington. Michigan with the serve. Well received by Washington. Washington with the setup, number 12. Ooh, and again, Burke just barely misses that back left corner, and Washington is able to slide in another point to cover for their slate losses for a 16-15 lead for Michigan. Washington closing the distance.
Yeah, that was a great kill by Wessel there. She just rose above the ball and got it down past the block.
Barton with the serve for Washington. Good reception by the libero for Michigan. 7 with the setup to 13. 13 hits it a little bit too hard. And to the back corner of the court, just past the lines. Again, the game is tied up, 16-16.
Yeah, Valette, a little too much power on that one. I initially thought it went off of the hand of a Husky blocker, but that was just too much power for Valette. It goes out.
Michigan with the, missed reception. Missed by Demetrician.
Now Washington has the lead, 16-17. These are sort of the simple mistakes that can get you sort of behind in the score. Michigan needs to clean that up.
Washington with the serve. Demetrician recovers this time. Oh, having to slide out of the court and able to receive it. Washington not able to cover the heat, and it bounces off a player's hands into the stands.
Very lucky for Michigan on that play. Ella Demetrician with the first touch. That was not the prettiest first touch, but however, Morgan Burke made the play. We got to Valette, and they got the kill.
Tied up 17-17. Michigan getting ready to serve. Michigan with the serve. Good recovery by Washington. Washington, maybe a little bit too far over. Wow, and off the hands.
And that was off the hands of Jackie Boney and Valentina Valette with the double block.
18-17, folks. Washington's taking the lead.
So now Lauren Bass is up to serve. She has 11 aces on the season so far.
Washington on a roll right now, diving hit. Oh, Michigan just barely saved the serve, and it just went right over the net, right into Washington's very ready hands to slam it down into Michigan territory.
Uncharacteristic by Jacobs there. She just sort of, she hit an over, and Washington took advantage of that.
Washington with the serve. Good save by 2-7 with the setup. 12 with a very early hit. Seemed to, it's still alive. The saving catch by Washington. Michigan struggling to get over that defense into Washington territory. Washington with the setup. Michigan with the recovery, set up by 7. Over to 2. Cutlet by the libero. Washington going for the setup again. Oh! And looks like...
And there was a lift on Washington. I'm assuming that was Alexis Hari there. Michigan got a good point. But that was a close one for the Wolverines that started celebrating too early. But apparently the ball was still alive, and good job for Allison Jacobs there, recovering from that last set and getting a good touch on the serve.
Serve for Michigan. And it's up. Over. Ooh, and Washington just could not handle the heat.
An amazing serve from Valette. Again, that powerful serve Washington needs to look out for. And that is Valette's second ace of the game so far.
19-19. Michigan with the serve. They've had good luck with their serve so far. Over the net. Good recovery by Washington. Having to dive out to get it back in play. Washington hits it over. Easy setup for 7. The libero sets it up for number 9. The libero catches it for Washington. Washington with the setup. Ooh, and just off the libero. And the ball is still in play. They had to dive out of the court. An easy setup for Washington. Just blocked off of the defenders. Number 7 with the setup. Slammed over. Oh, and just out of field. What an amazing effort by both teams. Michigan having to dive out of the court and able to get the ball back in play.
Yeah, that was Jackie Boney on the slide there. She went a little too far out and hit outside the antenna for a Husky point.
2019. Washington the lead. Washington with the serve. Over, caught by number 9. 7 gives it up to 9 again. Ooh, hit high and off the court from number 4's hands. Washington, again, could not handle the heat. Washington's having a little bit of trouble handling the heat of these Michigan serves and hits.
That was a great kill by Demetrician. There's so much power. Washington could not handle it. It's now 20-20.
Number 9 hits it over for Michigan. Easy setup for Washington. Blocked. Oh, but outside of the court. And again, Washington slides safely into a 1-point lead.
Yeah, we see Burke again on the block, not being able to get it down. And that'll make it 21-20. Washington leads.
Washington ready for the serve. Up, over. Crisler Ribeiro, 7's up. It's a 17. Oh, and a wonderful effort by Washington. But again, these diving catches, Washington just can sometimes just not seem to be able to save. Again, off of number 4's hands, the heat for Michigan seems to be a little too much.
That was the same play we saw last set, a little slide to Jackie Boney. This time she got it inside the antenna for a Michigan point.
Michigan Libero hits it over. Good receive by Washington, easy setup. Ooh, and nobody was there for Michigan. Washington very clearly chose a lane and stuck with it. 22-21 Washington. Washington getting ready. Washington up, over. Easy reception for 2. Hit up at number 7, up to 2. Ooh, and Washington just barely misses it. Dives, and again, off the hands of a Washington player. Washington cannot seem to get control over those very late receptions.
And there's Allison Jacobs with her 3rd kill of the night.
Number 7 for Michigan, serving over. Good reception by Washington. Washington sets up. Washington Berry hits it over. Ooh, a struggle for Michigan to get over the net. A good setup for Washington. Oh, and a diving attempt by the libero for Michigan, and just barely misses it. The libero with a lot of dives on both teams to get a possible setup, and a lot of them have not been very successful.
You got to make sure you cover that block with the experienced hitters. If they see that open court, they'll just tip it over for an easy point.
Washington up and over. A little too high and a little bit too fast. An easy point for Michigan. And ladies and gentlemen, we're tied 23-23 at the end of set 1.
That was a crucial mistake by Washington there. They could have had it 24-22, but instead it's 23-all with Trixie McMillan back into serve. Let's see if she can get something down.
McMillan up, over. Washington, good serve. Washington set up. Ooh, and just outside the lines, a wonderful hit by Washington, but
they're gonna call it off the tip. I believe that was Burke again on the block, couldn't get it down off the tip. And now it is set point for Washington.
Washington 24, Michigan 23. If Washington can do this, the set is theirs. Washington really starting to focus in. Number 9, Barron, up and over for Washington. Carla the libero for Michigan. Number 7 with the setup. Number 13. And that's it.
Oh no, that was a point for Michigan. We got a net violation on Washington.
Wow.
And now it is 24-all.
2 points here that have looked like to be one thing, but turned out to be the opposite. 24-24. Now the game cannot just go to 25. It must go over. Michigan. Up. Oh, just barely over. Hits off the top of the net. Lands in Washington court. A very, very lucky hit there for Michigan. And that's a point. That's a point to Michigan. 25-24. They only need one more to steal the game.
That was Mira Chopper. That was her 17th of the season. And Washington takes that time out. But Mira Chopper, they're getting very lucky. Just trickles over the net and finds the court for the Michigan point. It is now 25-24 for the Wolverines.
Excellent fight by both teams. Both teams have used a timeout where it counts. A timeout now in the very end of set 1. Washington looking to not make the simple mistakes they've been doing. There's people standing up. The stadium's getting real loud. People are loving this back and forth. It's been so even tonight. I don't think there's ever been a lead of more than 3 points.
Yeah, you know, it seems like there's been opportunities for both teams to really stretch that lead out more, but it seems like they're just making simple errors, talking about service errors, first touch errors, not getting around the block, blocking errors too, and they just can't seem to take advantage of the opportunities that they have.
Like we said, guys, a little bit of something is all a team needs in able to complete this game because it's so close. Any momentum shifts, any small mistakes, anything can very, very easily give either team the sets they need.
So we're going to see the serving specialist, Mira Chopra, serving for set point for Michigan here. She has 17 aces on the season so far, and she only has 23 service errors.
The timeout is now over for Washington. 25-24, Michigan serving and only needs 1 point.
Fans on their feet for Chopra here.
The fans clearly showing their support. Chopra up, over, saved by Libido. Easy setup for Washington, caught by Michigan, and it's out! Ladies and gentlemen, the scores are like magnetic. They can't separate from each other. 25-25.
Yeah, that was Burke on the shank. The setter was playing in the back row there. She just couldn't get a good touch on the ball, and now is back to being even at 25.
The libero, Bays on Washington with the serve. Good reception by Michigan, number 2. 7 with the setup to 13. 13 hits a slightly over hit reception for Washington. Washington with the easy setup. Just over, saved by the libero. A slam to keep it in play. Washington struggling. The libero just hits it over. A Hail Mary, 7 by number Michigan. 13, oh! Back corner for Michigan. A beautifully, beautifully placed spot.
Valentina Valette again. She's been dominating this game so far. She already has 2 aces, and that was her 6th kill of the game, just finding the spot. She has the power, getting it down now. This set point for Michigan, again, 26-25.
The heart and soul is there, ladies and gentlemen.
And look who's up to serve. It's Valentina Valette coming off the kill. We might see some power here. She is known for her powerful serves. Let's see if that is what we get.
Number 4, Washington needing to receive those serves that 4 has been struggling with a lot tonight. And it's up. And it's over. Ooh, big hit. Still very high up in the air. Washington is having to very slightly roll it over and able to keep it in play. It's just a true set, and it's over, ladies and gentlemen. A hole has been found. Michigan secures 27-25, and this, of course, means the first set is going over to Michigan.
There's that slide again by Jackie Boney. Morgan Berg and Boney finding the connection on the slide, on the back set. We've seen that multiple times this game so far, and it has seemed to work out so far. We only had that one mistake where it slid a little too far, got outside of the antenna, but they seem to clear that up, and they got the first set.
Wonderfully done by both teams. This is competitive. While Michigan might have slid away with this one, Washington only had a couple small mistakes to keep Michigan in the game.
So far in this game, the set was very winnable for both teams. I could have easily took some momentum, ran away with it, but I feel like both teams are sort of hindered by their own mistakes. Serving mistakes, first touch mistakes. We saw in that one of those last plays in that set there, that was Allison Jacobs on that first touch, uncharacteristic of her and her amazing defensive ability, but she couldn't get that first touchdown, and because of that, Morgan Birch couldn't get a clean set off, and Michigan went on to lose that point. So if I'm Michigan here, I need to clean up the errors, and also if you're Washington, you need to clean up the errors. Washington, they already have 3 errors, while Michigan has 4, so they need to clean those up. But overall, great effort by both teams so far. Very winnable game for both teams, and it's shaping out to be an exciting night.
Now, I believe the unspoken hero so far tonight has been Morgan Burke. Morgan with a lot of these amazing sets I've been talking about with the very easy setups. It's been almost perfect, where it's never going over the net, it's never too far back, it's always right and set for a Michigan player to kill it right over the net. It's been impressive to see such a performance.
Yeah, but shout out to Lauren Bays, the libero on Washington. It has not been easy to return some of these serves from Valentina Valette, Mary Chopra, Trixie McMillan, but she has stuck with it, making very little mistakes. She already has 7 digs on the night, leading her team and leading Michigan's team too. So great play by Lauren Bays so far for the Huskies. Let's see if the other Husky players can sort of take advantage of that.
The audience knows how important of a game this is. The volume is still very much up. 40 seconds left in the break.
And it's been interesting how Michigan have sort of found their temporary replacement for Nyambia, who is not playing this game, a key asset for the Wolverines. She has 137 kills on the season so far. The junior from Troy, Michigan, has been sort of a leader on this team, the middle. And that's where I think Michigan has been struggling the most and where they've seen the lack in performance with missing Nyambia, the middle, obviously responsible for a majority of the blocks. And Michigan here, they have not gotten a single block this game so far, and I believe that a big part in that is missing Nyambia, because we're seeing players like Burke and Boney go up to block, but they can't seem to get it down, whereas Nyambia, she was very key with that in past games, getting those blocks down. So we'll see. Maybe Washington looks to take advantage of that, how Michigan can sort of plug that hole. But it looks like we are going to be starting the second set. Michigan up 1-0.
Now, Jonah, I am very excited to see what this second set is going to look like, because these teams, again, have been so even. Clearly, their coaches are talking to them about these small things. And as we said before, Michigan might have had that. There were multiple times that if Washington just capitalized a little bit more, made a little bit less mistakes, this could have been over for Michigan.
Yeah, we're just talking about the fundamentals here, getting those passes down, making sure people are covering the blocks, serving, service errors, net violations too have been big for Washington. They have 2 this game so far, and a lift, so we'll watch out for those.
Both teams have been using a very, very well-selected mix of both a hard kill shot and a little lob of the net to give up defenders. Libero for Washington with the serve. We're back in play, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Michigan-Washington volleyball. And off the player.
That was Jenna Haynes there with her 2nd kill of the night. And interesting, this is her first appearance this season so far for the Wolverines as she checks out, but she did take advantage of that time on the court there, getting an easy kill. That was a great point for Michigan, just the way they hope to start the set off.
Alexis Hari, number 8, looking to serve for Michigan, and it's up, over, ooh, and there is smack dab into the middle of the net. That is a point to Washington, tied 1-1.
Yeah, that was Mira Chopra, the serving specialist there, making a service error. That is 24 service errors on the season so far. Hopefully they can clean that up.
Washington, up, over, received by the libero, a diving hit, set up for Michigan, excellent block by Washington, but still in Washington territory, and it lands in Washington's side of the court. A very good block, but just did not have the proper rebound strength to hit it right over the net. 2-1 Michigan.
There's those simple mistakes we're talking about. The ball was in the air for a long time. They could have easily had someone come in to cover that. Obviously, Washington can't touch it twice in a row, but let's see what they do.
Ooh, Washington having to go way back out of the court and able to save the faulty save from Michigan serve. Michigan with the easy setup. Michigan over, and the hole was found. Great opportunity by Michigan, noticing that Washington was all scrambled trying to receive that high and out ball going out the back of the court. That left a very big hole for Michigan to slam.
That's
right
Jackie
into.
Boney again on the slide from Morgan Burke. That is her 4th kill of the night.
Michigan up, over. Good save by the libero, number 20 on Washington. Washington with the setup, Washington with the slam, high, up and over. A 2-hit for Michigan. A very good save by Washington. Washington with the setup. Ooh, and there was an option there. A corner to hit, but just a little bit too far and too fast. Washington hits it right outside the court, 4-1.
That was the junior outside bush for Washington there. Tries to get her on the block, sort of overcompensates and goes outside of the court for a Michigan point.
If Michigan wins this one, that'll be a 5-1, and that'd be the biggest lead that any team's had all night. Washington with the setup. Washington with a very simple lob. Michigan with a very easy recovery. Set over to number 2. Oh, and number 2 hits the net. A disappointing way to cancel that streak. 4-2, Michigan in the lead.
That was a good job on that play by Valette there, covering that block, but unfortunately, Allison Jacobs, she got set the pipe again the second time this game, and for the second time this game, she couldn't find the court.
Number 9, Kristen Barton up to hit for Washington. Oh, right into the net. Now both teams are tied 1-1 for net hits here in this set. 5-2, Michigan. Michigan up, over. Ooh, and just outside the court. Wow, these mistakes are really starting to wrap up, Jonah.
Yep, we gotta be careful here. We already have 4 service errors each for both teams. Make sure that number doesn't grow. Let's just give the other team 3 points.
5-3, Michigan. Washington up, over. Easy reception by Michigan. Michigan with the setup, number 7, number 2, over, blocked. Michigan looking to recover. Number 2 again, blocked again, and someone's touched the net.
Oh no, wow, a double on Michigan there. I'm not sure who, maybe Burke. But Allison Jacobs, she had 2 shots to get that kill down. They were both blocked, but good job by Michigan for covering that block. That was Valette on the cover.
Washington up, over. Good reception by Libero for Michigan. Number 7 with the setup. Ooh, and Washington, I don't even know what happened. It looked like Michigan maybe missed.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe got a roof, just hit into the net maybe. But that is a Washington point, and now we're all tied up at 5-5.
Forget the 5-1 lead, ladies and gentlemen. Again, these points are magnetic. Washington up, over. Carla Libero for Michigan. Oh, caught a little. The block went a little too high and a little too over the net. Washington was able to capitalize it like it was a setup from their side.
Yep, that was Maddie Cochran on the over there and went right to Elise Haney, the middle for Washington. And if you're middle and you see an overpass, that is the best thing in the world for you. You're going to take advantage of that.
12. Ooh. A very, very close call. Possibly just outside of the court on the serve.
And it looks like Washington is going to challenge this, as I think they should. We had one line judge call it in, one line judge call it out. From up here, it looked like it was in. The call went Michigan's way, but we're going to have a little review here.
Now, with how close these games have been, remember, we went to 25-25 in set 1. A simple point like this could mean a lot for both teams.
Yeah, every point has equal magnitude. You can't just look at some of the early points as throwing away. You got to imagine every point counts here, especially when you get later at 25-25. You could have thought, hey, if I didn't make that mistake, it could have been 25-24 or 26-24, could win the set. So while they are reviewing this call, it was very close.
Both teams looking to clean up their act. This is a great opportunity to do so while there's a break for review. Washington's coordination is looking solid, and so is Michigan's.
I feel like coming out of the first set into the second set, both teams have sort of cleaned up a little. Michigan with a great start, going 5-1, but they kind of trailed behind, letting it get tied up. But both teams are looking really good, and the call stands. Oh, my bad. It is overturned for a Washington point, and that'll make it 7-5 for Washington.
2-point lead. This is the largest lead Washington has had this entire set. Washington, 12, up, over. Ooh, a good reception by the libero for Michigan. Set up by number 7. Number 9, lobbing it over the net just to save the point. Set up by number 6, Washington. Number 19, set up the libero for Michigan. Up, over, saved by Washington. Set up. A lob over, just keep it in play. Libero for Michigan. 7 with the setup. Ooh, a very light lob over, and it's out of bounds. Now, the points are starting to lead in the other direction.
Yeah, if you're Michigan, you had to capitalize. They got a free ball there, but again, Burke trying to hit the slide. This time it was out to Valette. Wasn't the best set. Valette could only tip it over, but she couldn't find the court.
Washington, number 12, up, over. Carla Libero. Michigan struggling to keep it in play. Michigan, the Hail Mary over. Caught by number 9. Washington 6 with the setup. Over. Saved by number Michigan. Oh, the plays are happening so fast. Michigan hits it outside the court.
Yeah, that was Jacobs there. Great effort by Michigan saving that point, and that was Allison Jacobs with her 4th kill of the night. Starting a little quiet for her. She usually leads the team in kills, but tonight she is only 3rd for the Wolverines, but she got that one down off the block for a Michigan point.
Michigan up, over. Washington, good reception. Number 6, 3. Michigan with the good reception. 2, over. Ooh, just out of Michigan libero's hands after the block, and it's out.
Yeah, that kill by Jacobs was just absolutely stuffed by Washington there.
6-9, Washington. Washington looking to extend this lead. Up, over. Michigan with the good reception. Set up by 7. A hard hit, but a good block by Washington.
Follett there, she just couldn't get around the block and gets absolutely roofed for another Husky point. And if I'm Coach Aaron Virtue here for the Wolverines, maybe thinking about taking a timeout soon, not let this get out of hand.
Michigan libero with the save. Another slam over. A little bit of confusion as after the ball was deflected by Washington, it went low and hard to recover from such a hit.
Another block for the Huskies there. It's now 11-6 Washington.
Washington up, over. Carla Libero for Michigan. 7 with the setup. 2 with the big hit up in the air, caught by number 9. 8 with the setup. 18 with the hit. Libero saves over on Washington's side. Looks like a call has been made.
Yep, that was a lift there on Valette, I assume. But it is now 12-6 Washington. And smart decision there by Coach Virtue taking a timeout for Michigan. So the second set started off 5-1 with a Michigan lead. They started to crumble after that. They've only scored 1.6 since, and it's now 12-6 Washington. And I think the problem for Michigan here is they can't get around the block. They've got blocked 3 times in a row just now. And I think that is where they're missing Nyambia the most. She could find her way around the block, also getting power to get off the block out of play. But Michigan, they just can't find the holes here.
The largest lead we've had all game. Washington, sizable lead. A lot of the issues that Washington was having in the first set, i.e. not covering holes and not being able to receive hard hits, has seemed to more or less disappear. Now, Michigan is still totally safe if they lose this set, but not encouraging to see such a sizable lead. Now, that timeout has been called. Both teams with 20 seconds remaining. Michigan cannot let this go on any longer.
Yeah, Washington here, they have 5 blocks in the game so far. Michigan, 0. And that is where they're missing Nyambia because they're just relying on players like Burke and Boney there to get these blocks, which they're not totally experienced with, which is why they have 0 on the game so far. And look at the hitting percentage. Michigan so far, only 158 compared to Washington's 349. They just can't find those kills.
The stadium is not quieted at all. It is still very much loud and awake here. Washington, up, over. Carlos Rivera for Michigan, set up by number 7. Number 13 with a hit. Ooh, but looks like, the top of the net.
There is the kill that Michigan was looking for. This time it was Valette out of the back row. Usually we see Jacobs coming out of the back row getting those kills, but this time it's Valette. Her powerful kills got down for Michigan point. Oh.
Washington with the sloppy reception.
That was a shank there by number 9 Barton, the outside hitter. Sophomore, and Michigan 2 points in a row off the timeout. This is exactly how they wanted to come back. Killing Washington's momentum, getting some of their own points.
4-point lead for Washington, 12-8. Michigan, Burke, up, over. Good save by number 9, high up in the air. Wow, and after a very hard recovery,
That was Fletcher on Washington getting in between the blocks there. Again, we're talking about Michigan missing the blocks. Fletcher finds the hole and they get it down for Washington point.
Washington 13, Michigan 8. Washington up, over. Good setup by Michigan, just barely tapped over. Washington diving for it. Washington looking for a setup off the hands of the blockers. Libero sets it up for Michigan. A hard slam over off the hands of the blockers, and a point. And
there's Vallette's 10th kill of the night. Her powerful kills can't really get a block down, so it goes off the tip for a Michigan point. And here comes McMillan again. She already has
Michigan up, over. Washington, Libero with a good reception. 19. Oh, a wonderful save by the Libero for Michigan. A diving save and off, way past the back boundary of the court. Washington's point.
That was Demetrician on the attack error there. A little too much power as McMillan checks out and Allison Jacobs checks back in.
Number 20, Lauren Bays for Washington. Up, over. Good reception by number 6. Number 7 with the setup. Number 12 with the hit. Off of number 9's hands for Washington. And now we're starting to see some of these Michigan hard hits starting to get Washington some trouble again.
And there's Jenna Haynes, the freshman middle blocker from California. That is her 3rd kill of the night.
Michigan maybe sliding momentum the other way. Michigan's up, over. Caught by number 23. 8 with the setup, 12 with the hit. Caught by Michigan, but sloppy recovery.
There's Burke again with another shank.
Washington is holding on to at least this 5-point lead. Michigan can't go on much longer with this if they have any desire to win this set. Any goal. Washington, get ready to serve. Washington, up, over. Good reception for the Libero for Michigan. Number 7 with the setup. With the floater for Michigan, a diving save for Washington. Saved, very slow game. Set up for Michigan, blocked. Up, set up again. Blocked, up. 7 with the setup, slam for Michigan. Washington is saving all of these. Set up by number 6 for Washington. Just over, still in play. Michigan up, over, off the Libero's hands. And, oh, the ball just went right out of the court. Number 20, Lauren Bays, just could not handle the heat.
And there's that pipe kill from Jacobs that we've been missing, but that is the first pipe kill of the game for Allison Jacobs. And coming out of the back row, a lot of power. She finally gets a clean hit on the ball for a point for the Wolverines.
Michigan up, over. Washington, number 9, a diving save by Washington to keep it in play. A big hit for Washington, over. Not much damage there. Oh, Washington with the diving save. 2 diving saves. A soft hit over for Washington. Number 7 set up for Michigan. Oh, and a slam by Michigan.
A powerful kill by Jackie Boney there. That is her 6th kill of the game. Lauren Bays on Washington just could not handle the power on that kill. That was a very powerful kill, something we see out of Valette, but this time it was out of Jackie Boney. And here's Valette to serve.
Michigan. Valette up, over. Good reception by number 20, Washington. Number 9 with the setup. Up high. Blocked by Washington. 7 with the setup again. A soft hit over. Number 20, Libero. Up, over. A good save by Michigan. Up, over. Good save by Washington. Up. Very soft over. 7 with the setup for Michigan. Number 2 with a very soft hit. A diving save by 23. Number 9 for Washington hits it over. A save by Michigan. A very soft hit for Michigan, over. And 23 cannot get back enough and able to get that very backcourt shot. Michigan's point.
Yeah, that was Morgan Burke, the setter there. She just tipped it over, knowing that there was no one really in that back row to get that tip. It finds the court for Michigan point, and now Washington taking a timeout. Michigan has sort of closed the gap on the score, bringing the score 15-13. Washington still leading, but an impressive run by Michigan here.
You can say goodbye to that 6-point lead. Washington now just trying to hold on to any lead as Michigan closes the distance. Michigan has had quite a bit of success aiming for the back of the court, because when the games get so chaotic and so back and forth like they have recently, the temptation for both Washington and Michigan is to move up court, leaving the back open, and Michigan has done a very good job of capitalizing on that opportunity.
Yeah, an amazing job by Lauren Bays, the libero for Washington. I know I've said it already before, but she has been playing an outstanding game, putting in all the effort she has to get these digs down. She has 9 on the game so far, and she's returning some of the most powerful serves I've seen from Valette. And she just has a couple mistakes, but so far she's been holding Washington together with her amazing digs.
Both teams looking to make some adjustments.
If I'm Michigan here, I am trying to get the ball to Valette more. She is leading the team in kills so far with 9. And it seems like when she does get around the blocks, her powerful kills, Washington can't really handle it, which is why she has 9 kills on the game so far. But then again, we talk about these attacking errors. Michigan 13 so far this game, while Washington only has 4. So hopefully they can get some kills down instead of hitting it off blocks, getting to the net, hitting out of the court. We'll see if they can clean that up. But it is Valette to serve again. Let's see if she can get something done.
13, Valette. Prepped. Up. Over. Oh, and
wow!
Right between the libero and 23, right into the smallest gap possible, but both players were not ready for such a heater. Michigan with these hard hits.
Just when I was talking about her power, she drills one down for another ace for Michigan. Valette.
1-point win, Washington. Up, over. Michigan now with the ball. Up, 7 with the set. Ooh, Washington saves it. Set up by 7. 13 hits it over. Good set. Washington up, over, and a little bit too hard, a little bit too high.
And there is where Valette's powerful serves come in to play a different way. This time, too much power. Washington hits it over, and that's a free ball for Michigan. And they did take advantage, and they got a point. And now it is tied up 15-15.
There goes the lead.
So we have another timeout by Washington here. Valette will come back out to serve.
Let's see if she can continue this sort of streak she has. She has 3 aces so far this game. Amazing power from her.
Michigan clearly capitalizing on their hard-hitting players. Washington is now on the back foot. This has the possibility. We talked about momentum. Michigan was able to kill Washington's, and Michigan is looking to be on a hot streak.
Yeah, Valette, going back to her serve, she leads the Michigan Wolverines team in aces with 44 so far this season. And if you're Washington here, the only way you can come back out of this knowing that Valette's serving, you just got to make that first touch and giving your setter a chance to set the ball well. No more overs, cannot be risking those free balls, giving those to Michigan because they will try to capitalize on those. So just making sure you get the first touchdown. That's the fundamentals of volleyball, first touch. So if I'm Washington, I'm coming out there knowing just got to focus on the first touch.
This is very different from the first set, ladies and gentlemen. These have been some pretty big leads in the second. Timeout is over.
Oh, my mistake. They were not taking a timeout. That was a review, and a call gets overturned. It was off the tip, and that is Washington's point. So now it is 16-14 Washington, and Valette will no longer be serving, and instead it is Barton on Washington with the serve.
Washington holds on to the lead, 1 point. Number 9, Barton, up, over. Saved by Michigan. Number 7 with the setup. Number 2, saved by Washington. Washington with these great saves. 7 up, over. Oh, and again, the heat is just a little too much. What seems to happen is Washington, whenever they receive these, it just hits right off their hands in any direction, really.
Yeah, and that's what you get when these powerful kills from Valette and Boney. That was Boney on the kill just there. That brings her total of the night up to 7, excuse me.
Well, Michigan up, over. Set up for Washington. Blocked by Michigan. Haven't seen many Michigan blocks. However, that is a point to Washington. Just went outside the court.
There's that blocking mistakes we're seeing from Michigan that we've seen all game. Michigan has yet to get a single block this game there.
15-17, Washington holding on to their streak. 12 up, over. Saved by Libero. Set up by 7. Michigan with the soft hit over. Barely saved by Washington. Washington. Ooh, a little too hard.
They're going to call it off the block, however,
Wow.
and that is Washington's point. I think that was the combination. Boney Burke again trying to go for the double block, but not being able to bring it down.
All right, Michigan now down 3. The lead, the streak has been stopped. Little too hard from Washington.
And that is another service error from Washington that brings their total of service errors up to 5. And a good point for Michigan trying to come back and into the set and take a lead.
16-18, Washington. Michigan Libero up, over. Very easy setup for Washington. Saved by Michigan. Set up by number 7. Number 2 with the wild hit.
Yeah, you can't really blame Jacobs on that though. That little shoot set by Burke, a little too much power. Jacobs didn't really have time to react to that. Tried to get it down. A little too much power on that one and went out. Washington now leads by 3 points.
Washington has been very dominant this whole half. Ooh.
There we go again. Another over that Washington took advantage of. I believe that was Wessels for Washington with the kill. Michigan, another first touch mistake, a little too much power. It goes over. Washington, easy kill. And it is now 20-16 Washington. Michigan takes a timeout, hoping to salvage this set.
A lot of breaks here, ladies and gentlemen. However, the timeouts that have been called have been greatly needed, and both teams have done a very good job of adjusting afterwards. I'm excited to see what Michigan does here.
Yeah, if you're Michigan, you got to clean up those first touches, maybe get out to Valette, maybe set another slide to Jackie Boney, which has been working so far for the majority of the game. Just trying to find those kills, which they have struggled with sort of in this game so far. They do have more kills than Washington, but however, their hit percentage is a lot less, only 177 compared to Washington's 375.
30 seconds left of the timeout. Michigan is actually already out in the court. Washington is making sure that the message is sent across. Washington's still in the huddle.
Well, I think that Michigan came out so early because Coach Virtue not much to tell them, just focus on the fundamentals, getting that first touchdown, and getting a clean set, clean kill, easy points. So Washington comes back out, and it looks like it'll be the setter Alexis Hari for Washington to serve.
Hari. Up and over. Good catch by the libero for Michigan. Michigan with the big hit, number 2. Ball is high, up. Good setup, blocked again. Michigan had to watch that ball land. Ooh, they watched it just land outside. Good call by Michigan by not jumping for it. 17-20, Washington.
You gotta be careful though. Allison Jacobs has 2 shots, but they were blocked both times. However, it did go out. They gotta get around those blocks.
Washington looking to put together its, ooh, and the lane opened up for Washington. They capitalized it perfectly. A diving catch by Michigan didn't go through, off the fingertips. Point for Washington, and still that 4-point lead. Washington up, over, and
there's
out.
another mistake, a serving mistake by Washington. This time it was Maddie Ensley. And that is Washington's 6th service error on the game so far.
Washington with these massive.
Now Trixie McMillan again comes in to serve, the serving specialist.
Up, over, good catch by 20 for Washington. Set up, slam by number 14. Ooh, a diving save by Michigan. Couple inches off.
Yeah, that was Trixie McMillan there who missed the dig, and that is sort of the risk when you utilize these serving subs. Sure, they're good at serving, but especially with McMillan, the true freshman, sort of that experience isn't there. She can't get the dig down. That cost them a point.
Libero, number 20 for Washington. Up, over, caught by Libero for Michigan. Michigan with the setup. Wow, and another hard hit. Washington just wasn't ready for it.
Amazing kill by Jenna Haynes there. She just took advantage of the short middle set. There's no one really blocking there. She got that powerful kill down for a Michigan point. Now it seems that when there's no one blocking Michigan, they can get those kills down, but as soon as they get blockers in, they can't get around, they can't get the power to tip out. So we're gonna see where that goes from here.
Up, over, Michigan. Over to Washington side. Good reception by Washington. Up, over, ooh, and a weird mirror situation, deja vu for Michigan.
That was a great play there by Alexis Hari there for Washington. She just gets around the block and finds the open court for Washington point. Now it's 23-19 Washington.
What Washington, the hit that gave Michigan the point 2 rounds ago, practically happened again, except it was against Michigan. Wonderful opportunity by Washington. Michigan with the setup, Michigan over. Ooh, and a diving attempt by Washington. Michigan has done a very good job of finding these open pockets when they can.
Yeah, that was Valette there. Now she comes up to serve. It's 20-23 Michigan. We'll see if we see one of her signature powerful serves here.
Michigan. Valette. Up. Over. A powerful serve.
And there is the 4th service ace of the night for Valette. That powerful kill, unreturnable by Washington. And now the gap is growing smaller. It is 23-21. Washington still in the lead, but Valette comes again to serve.
You can see Washington lined up all in the back of the court, ready for a hard serve. Ooh, just off the tip of the net. Still in play. Washington up, over. Michigan receives it back, up, over.
And a lucky point for Michigan there. Allison Jacobs just tips it over, but Washington a little mishandling there. They couldn't find it. They couldn't find the other side of the court, and it is now within a 1-point lead for Washington.
What if this is another momentum switch? 22-23 of all the times to tie the score back up. Michigan is doing it just in time.
This is very interesting here because Washington, they were up 20 to, I don't even know, but
they're up by a lot, and now Michigan has been climbing back there within 1 point, and it wasn't because Michigan was playing, I mean, it was playing good volleyball, but it wasn't outstanding. It was just sort of these Washington mistakes, these service errors. Can't return the serves, can't get the ball back over. If Washington drops a set, there are very 2 winnable sets by Washington here, and I know they're going to be regretting some of their decisions, but if Michigan claw back, that just shows their determination to win this volleyball game.
Washington struggling to receive all those hard serves from Valette. Valette seems to be the Achilles heel for Washington. And Michigan is doing exactly what they should be doing. They're capitalizing this opportunity. Off the timeout.
Yeah, but if you're Valette here, with these powerful serves, you gotta always keep in mind with more power comes less accuracy. We almost saw a service error on that last play there where it just barely trickled over the net. So you gotta be careful. With more power comes less accuracy, and now is the worst time to make a service error for Michigan.
Washington ready to play. Michigan just coming out of their huddle. Can Washington seal it away like they've been promising all game? Valette. Up. Over. Another signature hard hit, but Washington's able to get it. Washington over. Blocked. Washington resetting. Washington over. Very soft hit. Michigan recovers. Michigan over. Oh, and a double tap. And Michigan's point.
Although Michigan got that point there, again, they set the pick to Allison Jacobs. And again, it is not the cleanest kill. She couldn't really get the timing right. Just sort of tipped it over. Washington couldn't really handle it. But you know, on that play, Allison Jacobs, although she is thankful for that point, she's looking back thinking she got a clean hit, or wishing she got a clean hit on that set. But it is now 23-23.
Bullet up, over. Washington ready. Washington with the setup. Washington over, blocked by Michigan. Washington with the reset. Washington over. Ooh. Oh, a wonderful block save for Michigan. Washington struggling to put together a drive, and it's out of the court. And
it is now set point for Michigan, 24-23. They've really climbed back in this set, and Vallette is back to serve.
For the first time in a long time, Vallette, the option to seal away the set. Vallette, up, over. Good reception by Washington. Washington going up with the soft hit over. Michigan with the recovery. Washington hits, blocked. Michigan diving to save it. Michigan over. Washington diving. Michigan's good recovery. Michigan up, over. Oh!
There is that pipe kill that Allison Jacobs was looking for.
And that is 2 sets for Michigan. A wonderful, wonderful comeback.
Just when I said Allison Jacobs was looking back on that pipe set, wishing she got a clean hit, she gets it here where it matters most. She powers it down. Washington couldn't handle it, and Michigan take a 2-0 set lead here in Ann Arbor.
Washington not able to capitalize on their promise they've made this whole set, and Michigan slides away with 2. Wow.
So Michigan gathered their minds together when it mattered most, and they really dug deep to come back and win that set.
Don't let the 2 sets deceive you, ladies and gentlemen. This was a very close game. Wonderfully done.
So we are going to have a quick intermission here. Both teams huddling with their coaches, thinking about how Michigan can seal the deal, and for Washington, how they can maybe get a reverse sweep and get a win coming out of here.
It's not like Washington has been doing a terrible job. Michigan has been capitalizing when it matters most. Again, it's the small things.
That's what we haven't seen from Washington. They've been playing consistent all game, but they cannot seem to capitalize when they can take a lead, take a set. They just give it to Michigan, and Michigan takes care of those opportunities. If I'm Washington here, something I'm looking at is Michigan's inability to block. They still have had 0 blocks this entire game. If I'm Washington, you need to get some strong kills down for some easy points, because Michigan, they've struggled with the block. They've also struggled with covering the block, so maybe opening some horizons in for some tips, some setter tips even. But also, if I'm Washington, I'm looking at some serve receives, especially from Vallette. They've done pretty good so far, but they seem to struggle when it matters the most. And if I'm Michigan here, things seem to be going right. You're up 2-0, but you also got to look at the stat line. You've had 14 attack errors so far. You can't really seem to get past the block, maybe clean up some kills. There have been some little mishaps, especially coming out of the back row from Allison Jacobs there, but she did find her stride late in that set. So if I'm Michigan, I'm cleaning up the kills, finding my way around those blocks, and also getting some blocks up there of my own to stop Washington's attacks.
Well, what's been the key of this whole operation? Washington seeming to maybe overcompensate for such an advantage that Michigan has on the court when Vallette is serving. 3 of them are in the far back of the court just waiting for Vallette's serve. And recently they have done a very good job of warming up to that power.
Yeah, Vallette, her serves are just so amazing. She ranks 2nd in the Big Ten for aces per set with 0.71. So far in this game, she has 4, hoping to add to that total.
Washington knows they need to make, well, honestly, not even major adjustments. Both teams were playing very solid ball, but Washington just crumbled.
It just seems like when it matters most, Washington just crumbles and falls apart. They can't capitalize on the big moments. They can't get those big kills. They just sort of make silly mistakes, like can't get the ball over the net on that one play. And it just goes Michigan's way, and Michigan takes advantage, and they sort of build up when it matters the most.
Michigan, very comfortable.
So something interesting here, this is Jenna Haynes' first appearance this season for the Wolverines. She is a 6'3" freshman middle blocker from California, and so far this game she has 4 kills, and she looks pretty good. Some of those powerful kills, they come at some good times, but I think the main leader for Michigan in this game so far is Vallette. She is leading team in kills with 10, and she also has those 4 service aces, and just makes it so hard for Washington to return those serves.
Michigan looking to seal it away. Now, Washington, well, both teams have been very equal because of the chances that Michigan has had. They capitalized on for that 2-0 lead. Washington can no longer rely on chance. Washington now has to be objectively better than Michigan if they want to have a very decent shot at winning 3 in a row.
So Washington takes the court. Michigan's still in their huddle. They're trying to close this one out, get a sweep, get out of here early, and improve to 15-3 overall.
Michigan, high spirits. The stadium chanting. Washington refusing to let their spirits crumble. Don't count Washington out yet. While they may be behind, they are ready.
Yeah, these past 2 sets were very winnable for Washington. I can see them go either way, but Michigan comes out with both. And they have the 2-set lead over Washington. Both teams getting ready to start the 3rd set. It looks like it'll be Mira Chopra serving for Michigan to start things off. And here we go.
Can Washington recover? Up, over. Good recovery by Washington. Washington, very light hit over to save it. 7 with the setup. 2 over. Washington, good save. Washington over, off the top of the net. Michigan recovers. Michigan with the setup. A soft hit over the defense. Over for Washington. Oh! And who does that go to?
That
Washington.
is a great start by Washington there. That was number 14 Fletcher for Washington with the kill. She gets around the block but still finds the inside of the court. And again, we see Allison Jacobs trying to get that pipe set. Doesn't work out. She had to tip it over again for a free ball for Washington.
Washington up, over. Carla Librera for Michigan. Up, over. Washington with the diving catch. Washington over. Carla Librera for Michigan. Oh, and a smackdown kill by Washington just because the ball deflected just over the net into Washington's hands.
Yeah, that was Elise Haney, the middle blocker for Washington there. Again, Michigan with an over and Washington taking advantage of it, just slamming it down. It is now 2-0 Washington.
Washington up, over. Libera for Michigan, catching it 7 with the setup, 13 over. Off the hands of the Washington defense.
And that is Vallette's 11th kill of the night. That powerful kill went off the tip, and it found no one. No one was there for Washington to get it.
Another early lead for Washington.
And here's Vallette to serve again. Let's see if she can add another ace to her total for tonight.
The Washington defense adjusting as they should. Off in the back, Vallette up, over. Oh, and the heat.
And she gets another ace. That is 5 on the night for Vallette.
Wow.
That powerful serve could not be returned by Washington. What an incredible server she
No
is.
matter how much Washington adjusts, Ballette can still get a point. Ballette up, over, oh, into the net.
And
As
that
Joshua
is what we were talking about. With the power comes less accuracy into the net. Another service error for Michigan. Washington leads 3-2.
Libero. Lauren Bays up, over for Washington. Libero for Michigan caught it. Oh!
That was off the touch there for a Michigan point. That was Ella Demetrician with the kill. That is her 5th of the night. And now it is her to serve, Demetrician to serve.
Michigan up, over. Too high, too far. Washington point, 3-4.
A little too hard there by Demetrician, and that is Michigan's 6th service error of the game. Both teams have 6 service errors so far.
Washington with these early leads. Can they keep it? Washington up, over. Caught by the Michigan Libero. A little too high, a little too over.
Antenna violation there by Michigan. Libero. Maddie Cochran. Again with that first touch. A little too hard. This time instead of going over, it's the antenna for Washington point.
Washington up, over. Libero for Michigan. Set up by number 7. Hit by number 13. Saved by number 20 for Washington. Up, over. Saved by Michigan. Over. And looks like a violation.
Yep, there was a double on Washington there for a Michigan point, and now it is 4-5. Washington still with the lead.
Washington needs these leads like they've had in the second set. They can't be shooting themselves in the foot. Michigan up, over, saved, up, over for Washington. Oh, and just outside the court.
But
Michigan
it is
ball.
off the touch, and that is Washington's point.
Scratch that, folks. 6-4, Washington. Washington doing a very good job at keeping at least a 1-point lead.
A service ace for, or excuse me, that, oh no, yeah, service ace for Washington. Maddie Cochran looked at it, thought it was going out, landed inside the court, and that's an ace for Barton, the outside hitter from Washington.
Washington up, over. Oh, and a little too far, a little too hard. Michigan points. 5-7, Washington's lead.
This is something we've seen this game a lot so far. Washington comes out with the early leads, but as the set goes on, they sort of seem to lose that momentum, and Michigan just takes advantage.
Michigan up, over. Saved for Washington. Washington set up. Washington over. A tip off of the Michigan defense and out of the court.
Yeah, it looks like Morgan Burke was there to cover the set, but she sort of stumbled on her feet and she couldn't get the ball. The ball fell down for Washington point.
Washington 8, Michigan 5. An early lead. Can they keep this momentum? Washington up, over, and into the net.
Another service error for Washington. That brings their total up to 8 so far.
We talked early in the, before the game started, controlling the controllables. What can you control?
Your serves. Make sure they don't go into the net. Make sure they don't go out. That's 2 service errors by Washington on 3 plays, and now it is Trixie McMillan into serve for Michigan again.
Michigan up, Michigan over. Washington set up, slam over. Oh, and off the chest of number 7.
Again,
into the
Morgan
stands.
Burke struggling with these returns here.
Ooh.
She only has 4 digs on the night so far.
9-6, Washington. Washington keeping their very, very comfortable lead. Something they've been able to consistently have the whole night. Washington over. Michigan set up number 7, number 12 with the hit over. Sayla Libero, number 20, number 8 with the setup, number 18. Oh, and Michigan could not quite catch it.
Yeah, that was a great kill by Maddie Ensley there for Washington. Allison Jacobs, no matter what she could do, she could not reach out to get that kill. It's a good kill by Washington there. It's now 10-6.
Washington up, over, saved, set up by 7, 13, saved by 20, Washington, set up, 18 over, 7, Libero, 13 over, oh, and off the arm of number 20, the Libero for Washington.
And that is Vallette's power coming back into play. It kind of hit Washington's libero, Lauren Bays, a little too high up in that sort of shoulder area. Can't get the dig down, but he also can't set it back up. Sort of catches it on the shoulder, goes out for Michigan point.
Still a 3-point lead for Washington. Michigan has yet to capitalize on mistakes. Michigan up, over. Washington set up, a light touch over. Oh, a save by Michigan. Lobbed over just to keep the ball in play. Oh, and Washington with the hit over the net. Very soft hit, and no one was there for Michigan.
Yeah, Chopper there. She saved the block on the first attempt by Washington, but on the second one, couldn't get there in time. Washington's point.
Washington's point. 11-7. Washington extending their lead. Washington up, over. Oh, and a diving attempt by Libero for Michigan.
Yeah, that was a rare error there by Maddie Cochran. She could not get the platform out, get that first touch. Instead, she shanks it for another Washington point.
Washington. Up, over. Save by the Libero. 7 up for the setup. 13 slams it just left of the Libero for Washington. Number 20, Lauren Bays.
And there's that slide set that Morgan Berg is so accurate and so consistent with. This time, it was Vallette instead of Boney, which we've seen mostly tonight. But Vallette gets this done, and now she is up to serve again. It's always exciting when Vallette's up to serve.
Vallette up, over. Washington. Oh!
Another ace by Vallette. That is her 6th of the night.
Washington, no matter how much they prep, it always just seems to fly out of their hands off into the stadium. Washington cannot get the stop on Vallette. Not enough to make it count.
Here we go again. She winds up.
Over. Oh, Washington with good recovery this time. Washington, light touch over. Slamming it over to Washington side. Washington up, over. Oh, almost able to Libero. Goes under the net, and that is Washington's point.
Yeah, that was a great kill by Washington there. I believe that was Barton on the kill. Only person in the back row for Michigan was Cochran, and she cannot cover that entire court. Washington find the open court, get a kill.
It is clear. Michigan cannot rely on Vallette for all their points. Washington up, over. Libero for Michigan. Sets it up. A slight tab over for Michigan. Washington able to smack it down twice over the net. Michigan struggling to recover. Washington diving hits, and that's it. That's a point to Michigan. Off the hands.
Interesting play by Fletcher there on Washington. She had an overpass go right to her. Instead of slamming it down, she sort of just tipped it over. I'm not sure if she got her hand back, but that was a little mistake for
Number 9,
Washington
Michigan
there.
up, over. Washington with the setup. Washington over. Directly to the Libero for Michigan. 7-13. Oh! Oh, so close for Washington. Number 20.
And that is Vallette with a tip this time. And she finds the open court. Washington tries to get a pancake down. They could not get it done. Michigan now trails only by 2. It's 11-13.
Up, over. Washington with the setup. Light tap over. Libero setting up. Number 2 with the sit. Oh, just off the fingers. 23 Washington. 8 with the hit. Blocked. Up. Over for Washington. Saved. Saved. 2 diving saves. Washington looking to respond. Saved by Michigan. Number 7 with the setup. Number 13 slightly over. Washington blocks it. Michigan is trying to get something in their field. And they do. Number 20. Lauren Bays off the hands. Another hard hit from Michigan off into the stands. Michigan points.
And Michigan turns to who they can trust when times get tough. That's Allison Jacobs there. This time Maddie Cochran with the set to Jacobs finds the kill.
12-13 Washington. Washington recovers. Washington up, over. Someone's there to get it for Michigan. Up, over.
And that is Jacobs again, another kill. It was blocked by Washington, but it goes on their side of the court for the Michigan point. It's now all tied up at 13.
Can Michigan seal it away? Can they do what they did last set? Michigan up, over, recovered by Washington. Washington over the net and a Hail Mary. Michigan set up, 2 with the slam. Oh, and just blocked by Washington, but outside of the court.
Another
Michigan
point by Jacobs there. That's 3 in a row for her. And with that, she improves her double-digit kill consecutive streak to 16 matches so far this season.
Michigan looking to hold on to their now lead.
Oh, wow. A
Just
shank
off.
by Washington.
Washington, again, they can't handle these hard hits.
And
And
that's a good
Olga's
timeout
already-
there by Washington coach Gabriel. Michigan take a 2-point lead. They were down by a lot. And this seems to be a theme so far this game. Washington starts to set off with a small lead. They start to fall apart, and Michigan takes the lead.
Michigan is seeming to be solving Washington like a Rubik's Cube, able to solve the puzzle the longer the game goes on.
So Washington, another simple mistake on that first touch. It wasn't necessarily an amazing, powerful serve. They just couldn't get the touchdown for an easy Michigan point. And that brings Michigan's service ace total so far this game up to 9. Again, still no blocks for Michigan, but it doesn't seem like they're letting that bother them. They take the lead by 2 points in this third set, hoping to get the sweep here in Ann Arbor.
Michigan leading 15-13. However, I would say for the vast majority of these sets, on average, Washington has been leading. Michigan knows the right time.
Yeah,
Michigan-
Washington just can't seem to take advantage. They start to crumble, fall apart, silly errors, serving to the net, serving out, shanking the ball. And just giving Michigan these free points. And coming out of the timeout, if I'm Washington, got to focus on the fundamentals, getting a point here. This is a huge side-out point for Washington.
At Michigan's worst, ball that seems to be their only option, but now it looks like they increased their dynamics.
So it'll be a demonstration to serve for Michigan.
Up, over. Good save by number 20 for Washington, over to Michigan's side. Set up by 7. 17, light tap over and off the court. Washington point.
And it looks like Michigan might challenge this, saying it went off a touch. And they will. So, if I'm Washington, that is not the way I wanted to come out of this timeout. The very first touch, over. Free ball for Michigan. And although the call on the court was that Michigan hit it out, it was not off a block, they're reviewing it. So, if this tends to get overturned, then if you're Washington, you might start to worry here a little bit.
Washington needing to end the curse they've been having for the last 2 sets and just need to get a sizable lead that they can continue on through the end. Michigan doing a great job at figuring out Washington's strategy. Washington not able to adjust to Michigan's.
Yeah, we were talking about fundamentals. First touches, Washington, they could not get it done there. And it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't a necessarily amazing serve. They just could not get the touchdown. And looking on the replay board, it looks like it did go off a touch. So, or, I don't know, it's tough. It's tough to see. But it looks like we're going to have the call here. And it did go off the touch, and that is Michigan's point. So very unfortunate for Washington there.
Washington cannot catch a break.
If you're Washington, like I've been saying, you need to get a little first touch here and make sure you get an opportunity to get a kill down. Let's see what they do.
Michigan, number 9, demonstration, up, over. Good reception by Washington. Washington with the setup. Number 9, slamming it. Libero by Michigan saves it. Number 7, setup. Number 2, over. Over for Washington. And
Off the block and out for a Washington point.
wow. Michigan, valiant attempt, but that kill was hard and fast. and a little too strong. Bounced right out into the outside of the court.
So now it would be Molly Wilson to serve for the Huskies. She has 19 aces on the season so far.
Washington up, over. Carla Rivera for Michigan. 7 with the setup. 13 over. Saved by Washington. Up, over. Saved by Michigan. Easy setup for Michigan. Let's see what they can do. Up, over, off hands. 20 with the save for Washington. Up, over. Blocked by Michigan. Up, over. Oh!
That was a good kill by Washington there. That was number 4, Bush. That is her 11th kill of the night. She leads the Huskies there. And if I'm Washington, that was a great play. They had a lot of effort on that, getting those blocks up, making sure that they can get those tips, which they did, and eventually get the kill. So now we have another timeout here. Maybe a chance for Washington to gather themselves, go over what they've been doing, but also kills a little momentum that they just gained from that good kill. So now Michigan leads by 1 point. It is 16-15, the Wolverines leading.
Remember, this is everything for Washington. If they don't complete this set, it is over, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, if Washington ends up losing this, that will be their 4th loss in a row to add to their 13-3 record so far. And they do head to East Lansing in 2 days to play Michigan State over there. Another conference game you really don't want to see, potentially dropping 5 in a row to conference opponents.
Both teams collecting in their huddle a little bit more as the t-shirt toss comes out. And this is the loudest we've heard in the stadium. Both teams have some big switches to make. If one can really slide away with points, that'll be something unheard of we've seen so far. Remember, the biggest lead has only been 6, which is not so much in the grand scheme of 25 points.
Yeah, this is a close game, but Michigan just pulling ahead when it matters the most. So Washington will end up serving. It will be number 6, Molly Wilson, and they're hoping to tie it up, take a lead, win the set, and eventually win the game. So let's see what they do. Molly Wilson up to serve.
Washington up, over. Carla Rivera for Michigan. Cut, set up at number 7, 17 with the slam off the hands of 20. 2-point lead for Michigan, 17-15. Michigan has a chance of sliding away.
Again, we see that slide set again from Boney. It's been so effective this game so far. It's super simple, but they get it done perfectly, and that's another point for Michigan.
Over for Michigan, up, over for Washington, off the hands of a defender, saved by the libero, up and over, 13, and the defense just could not handle it for Washington. Lands right in Washington's court. Now it's a 3-point lead for Michigan, 18-15.
Yeah, Michigan found the hole in that block there. It got down, and now Michigan take a 3-point lead. Another timeout by Washington there.
Washington cannot seem to capitalize on the time they give themselves. Maybe third time's the charm?
Washington, they need a side out here. If Michigan takes a 19-15 lead, it does not look too good for the Huskies.
Michigan does not need to change much. They've been playing solid. Washington has been making mistakes.
Keep in mind, this entire game is without one of their star players, Nyambio. Imagine if she's in the game. That could be a whole different story, but Michigan with a 3-point lead in the third set. They lead 2-0. Man, Washington, they just can't capitalize on their opportunities.
Michigan looking to extend their lead. If they can get a 4-point lead, I believe that is the highest lead Michigan would have this whole game.
Crisler Center here, very energetic in support of the Wolverines. Looking to see a sweep here. And it will be Morgan Burke, the setter, serving for Michigan. Or excuse me, Maddie Cochran, the libero, will be serving for Michigan.
Cochran, ready. Washington, ready.
If you're Washington, first touch here. Gotta get a good first touch, especially against a weaker setter that is Maddie Cochran.
Cochran. Up. Over. Good recovery by Washington. Up. Over.
That is exactly what Washington wanted. Amazing first touch, amazing set, amazing kill. That's a Washington point. And now they just got to repeat that. It's really not that complicated. They just need to get the fundamentals down and you'll be getting points.
This is a simple game, folks. Up. Over. Good recovery by the
What a play by Burke!
Something we have not seen. Number 7, instead of her usual setup, Burke decides to lob it over, and Washington completely caught unawares.
That is great core awareness by Burke there, knowing that the core was open, find that hole, getting a point.
Washington. Over. Recovery by Michigan. Up. Over. Number 2. Great recovery by Washington. Up. Over. And they found the hole and they capitalized.
That was a good point by Washington there. That was Maddie Ensley. And that is her 8th kill of the night. Just finding the hole in between the blocks, finding the open court, finding the corner, getting a kill, and bringing that margin within 2.
Washington. Up. Over. Cutler the Rivero for Michigan. Number 7 need to go outside the court. Number 2 hitting it over. Washington recovering. Washington over. Blocked. Washington struggling to keep the ball in play, but it still is. Number 7 with the setup. Number 12 over. Blocked. 12 recovering. 7, 13. Oh! The diving save.
But it hit the ground, and that's Washington not covering their blocks. They tried to get a little pancake in there. It didn't land. And if you're Washington, there was a free ball opportunity in there that they really could have taken advantage of. But instead, it goes Michigan's way. They lead 20-17, and Trixie McMillan is back in to serve.
What could have been? Both teams doing a great job at recovering that whole round.
If I'm Washington here, if you receive the serve, you're aiming for Trixie McMillan in the back row.
2017, Michigan up and hits the net. That's going to sting this late in the game. It is late in the game, folks. Only 5 more for Michigan, and the game is over. This is Washington's make or break.
Very uncharacteristic of Trixie McMillan there, a service error, and that brings it to 18-20. Michigan still with the lead.
Number 4 for Washington. Bush over. Saved by the Libero for Michigan. 7, set up, 12, down, 4, off the hands of 4, into the crowd. That is a point for Michigan. This game might be coming to an end. 21-18, Michigan.
That was a great kill by number 12, the freshman, Jenna Haynes from Michigan. That is her 5th kill of the night, and it is Mir Chopra to serve for Michigan.
Chopra. Up. Over. And out.
A little too much power. That's very interesting. We see these serving subs, Mira Chopra and Trixie McMillan, both come in. They both make service errors.
Michigan making mistakes. Washington has the chance to close it in. Washington serve. Washington up. Over. Carlo Limbiro over for number 9. Good save by number 4 for Washington. Up. Over. Michigan with the save. 7. Set up. 9. Slams it over.
And it was off the touch for a Michigan point.
The
and
game.
It's now 22-19 Michigan. And if you're Washington, you're kicking yourself in the butt here. Michigan, they had 2 service errors. You got to take advantage of that. And look who's up to serve. Valentina Valette. Let's see if she can add another ace to her already 6 tonight.
As expected, Washington has gone to the back of their court. Up. Over. Oh, a soft serve this time. Threw him for a loop, but Washington does save it. Back over to Michigan side. Michigan up. Over. Oh, just barely over the net. Washington saves it. Up. Over. Good save by number 2 for Michigan. Number 7 with the setup. Number 2 with the setup. Oh, up for number 4.
Another kill for
Bush.
Michigan. This time Allison Jacobs with the kill off the hand of the Washington Huskies, and Michigan is within 2 points of another sweep.
Wow. Washington, the pressure could not be higher. Up. Over. Hard hit. They recover. Up. Over. Oh!
Good play by Washington there, just tipping it over, finding the open court. saving this set.
Follett diving for the soft hit over the net and just could not quite make it. Now, without the pressure of Follett, Washington has the chance to capitalize.
Got to get it over the net.
Over, soft hit, recovered by number 2. Number 7 with the setup. Number 2 over, saved by number 23. Up, over by number 9. Blocked by Michigan off the hands of number 4.
That is Michigan's first block of the night, and it could not have come at a better time. Michigan now leads 24-20. Fans of the Crisler Center on their feet. It is match point for Michigan, and Washington takes a timeout.
This game has been beyond even for all 3 sets, yet somehow Michigan has the chance of closing this out. A 3-0, a sweep over the Huskies. And remember, guys, this is a Big Ten game. This means a lot.
That was a great block by Morgan Burke and Jackie Boney. Their first block of the night. Great block. Just absolutely rejected into the backcourt. No one there for Washington, and they get the point, and they are within 1 of a victory here at the Crisler Center.
Washington out of room. They cannot make a single error.
Fans on their feet here. Washington really got to dig deep. You're a 4-point deficit right now. Michigan only needs 1 more to win.
24-20, Michigan. Everyone on their feet. Energy is high, folks. Both teams, deep conversation in their huddle. Washington breaks.
If you're Washington, you lose here, you got to think back. This was a super winnable game for them. They just couldn't find the right moments and get points when it mattered the most. So it'll be Ella Demetrician to serve for Michigan. She has 1 ace this game, and they're trying to close it out.
Michigan, 1 point to completely sweep Washington. Michigan, number 9. Demetrician up, over, just off the net. Washington recovers, up, slam for number 4, blocked by Michigan. Good recovery by number 20 for Washington, over for Michigan. Good save by Michigan, up, over, oh!
And
that's
Michigan!
It. That's the game!
Sweeps the Washington Huskies. Allison Jacobs pokes it in. Is blocked but lands on the Washington side of the court. Michigan wins the set 25-20, and they win the game 3-0 to improve to 15-3 overall and 5-2 in conference play.
Michigan took the first set 27-25. Michigan took the second set 25-23, and now Michigan sweeps Washington, a Big Ten rival, 25-20 for a complete and absolute sweep.
If you're Michigan, you gotta give a nod to the bench players that they rose up in filling the hole of Nyambio here, and they played their part. I'm talking about Jenna Haynes, her first appearance this game. She had 5 kills. People like Jackie Boney that don't usually play that much, she got 10 kills. A lot of those on that signature slide by Morgan Burke. Great kills, but also you got to clean up some of these errors that you're missing if you're Michigan. 8 service errors and all of those attacking errors. 14. To be fair, they did clean that up towards the end of the game, but good for them for taking advantage of when it mattered most.
Michigan celebrating. This means that Washington has their 4th consecutive loss. Michigan hands it to them on a silver 3-win platter, 3 sets. And now the anthem plays.
My player of the match has to go to Valentina Valette. She leaded the team in kills with 15, but her 6 service aces are probably what did it the most. Those were amazing serves that Washington couldn't really handle, and it came at great times for Michigan. Also, something else to note that can't really see on a stat line is that those powerful serves, they result in overs a lot of the time and free balls for Michigan, which they did take advantage of. So
those powerful serves come into play a lot for Michigan here.
For Washington, their big player this game, I would say, is Lauren Bays. A lot of amazing saves by Lauren. Lauren did a great job at, while there were some misses, the vast majority of balls hit her way were hard and fast.
Yeah, she had 13 digs tonight, which is pretty good considering there were some powerful hits by Michigan, especially from Vallette, Jacobs, Boney. So good job by Lauren Bays there for Washington. But something else to note, Lauren Bays led the Huskies in digs with 13. But the leader in digs for Michigan was Valentina Vallette with 14. She led both teams in digs, and she isn't even a libero. Great defensive performance by her tonight.
Michigan, a great win tonight. Again, this was a game of small margins, and it all came down to the mistakes. The little advantage that Michigan had that Washington can only sometimes defend was, of course, the massive, massive hits from Volleyball.
Yeah, if you're Michigan looking ahead, you got number 9 Wisconsin on Sunday in Ann Arbor. These sort of mistakes, although Washington, they couldn't capitalize on it, you know for sure Wisconsin, a tough opponent, they're going to be able to capitalize. There's no room for error in that game. You got to clean up, get more reps in practice for these players if Nyambio is unable to play. But looking forward, Michigan takes on number 9 Wisconsin on Sunday at 7:30 p.m.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in to WCBN Women's Volleyball. I have been your play-by-play Carter Rupert with our color Jonah Barnhill, and everyone have a good night and go blue.
Go Blue.